What's good, and welcome everybody to the ID at Xbox Showcase. I'm Andrea Renee from What's Good Games, joined by Adrian. What's good, man?
You know, there's no better place to be than right here with you, talking about video games, specifically indie games. This is exactly what's good.
I'm so excited to be back hosting for this showcase specifically. I had such a fun time back at the Winter Gathering, looking at a bunch of indie games back then, and now we have even more exclusive trailers, dev interviews, all kinds of stuff. On today's show, we're going to be celebrating, as Adrian said, indie Xbox games, and it's just going to be, I think, a really fun, jam-packed couple of hours.
Yeah, and people are already in a good mood. You see down there, people in the chat are saying hello. They're saying woo. They're excited to be here. They want to see games. And honestly, that just puts you in the mood to talk about games the entire time, to have an audience that wants to see it too.
Absolutely.
Look at that. Woo indie game hype the entire time. That's exactly what I want to see right there. And Twitch chat, just a reminder, we can see everything you're typing. So if you wouldn't type it to someone that you care about, don't type it here. But it's about indie games, so it's nothing but love the entire time. And hey, throughout the day, we'll be dropping exclusive new game trailers and let you know what games are coming to Game Pass. When will we tell you about a game dropping on Game Pass? It's a very good question, right? So we'll put a timer. Timer about, let's say, in 8 minutes or so. And then when we do that, we'll be revealing a surprise announcement, okay? Wow, it's already 7 minutes and 49 seconds. That's how quickly it happens, okay?
So specific.
So well, you know, we gotta make sure everyone knows the live show.
That means we have to stay on task. We don't want to be late for the timer. But chat, as Adrian mentioned, we love that you guys are involved here on Twitch Gaming. You guys hear us say it all the time that you guys are a big part of the show. So keep the comments and the emotes coming. We love to see them. And we apparently are on a countdown.
Yeah, we're on a countdown the entire time, and want to make sure that everyone knows we see the countdown, and it just means good games are coming your way. And you want to make sure everybody knows this is a co-streamable event. If you don't know what that means, it means doesn't matter if you're partner, affiliate, whatever you want to be. It means you can take the URL above. That's the Twitch Gaming URL. You can go into OBS. You can go into XSplit, open up a browser source, paste it there, and then add the co-streaming tag to your stream. And you can sit back and watch with your own channel and do everything we're doing right now with your own peeps.
Heck yes, and I know that the folks over at G4 TV mentioned that they are co-streaming, so shout out to you guys. What's good? But let's go ahead and kick things off, shall we? So throughout today's show, the ID at Xbox / Twitch Gaming Indie Game Showcase, as we mentioned, we will be airing new game trailers for the very first time. So new, in fact, that even we haven't seen the trailers yet. So normally during rehearsal, they show us the trailers. Not this time. It's going to be all surprises for everybody. So share your reactions in the chat with us because we're excited to hear what you guys have to say. And we hope that you are ready because let's go ahead and start off with some new trailers.
Right now.
I never meant for any of this to happen. All this bloodshed. All this chaos. Brother against brother. I feel like I'm trapped on a path I can't change. We used to be mercenaries. Then they called us criminals. So we became rebels. And now, a revolution. We didn't start this war. But one way or another, we're gonna end it. I'll do whatever it takes to bring my people home. And no king, no friend, nothing will stop me.
I'm Emperor T-Pain. I'm gonna teach you how to rule in Crusader Kings 3. This is a game of choices and building strong, healthy relationships. I'm gonna rewrite history just by being fair and just, making peace with my neighbors, no matter their religion or culture, letting my kids marry for love, educating the masses, and lowering taxes. It's gonna be a utopia. So first, let me see, I'll just, okay. Well, that's new. Okay, minor inconvenience. We're gonna keep moving forward and continue my dynasty's mission on peaceful shit. Gonna have to reevaluate this whole thing. We'll be back. You know what? Second step, just marry off all your kids. Doesn't even matter if he's a troll. Just aim for very powerful and wealthy alliances. Nothing else matters. Third, find the shadiest slim in the land and have them start murdering all your neighbors. That's gonna trigger a succession crisis when all of them die. Imprison all the rebel families, hold them hostage if you had to. We're gonna take care of this one rebellion real quick and then right back to peace, promise. Fourth, we're gonna need mercenaries to replenish our army. That just means raising taxes temporarily. We need to protect our borders. Those neighbors are looking pretty sus. We can build that university after we take this one neighbor, and then we're good. Oh, shit. Take control of history on March 29th with Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
just stunned at how adorably cute Tunic is, or are you still chuckling that T-Pain raised taxes after he said he was going to keep taxes low in his utopia?
C, all the above. When my homie said raise taxes temporarily for the Holy Booty Empire, and
Every politician says the same thing.
which means he's playing the game the right way. I'm sure his empire's going to do quite well. Tunic looked outstanding. It's been looking outstanding for years now, and the fact that it's just like so close, it's no more just watching trailers and we'll get to play it. That's beyond great.
Yeah, it's awesome that it's finally out. It's out today, and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass today as well, which is an incredible value. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to be talking about Games Pass a lot, and I saw a bunch of people in chat talking about how they love that Game Pass introduces them to games they might not have otherwise got to play or maybe even heard about, and there's a bunch of those in the showcase today, so keep your eyes peeled. But I do want to give T-Pain a shout out for that gold controller. I'm like, where can I get one of those?
He had the full royal kit right there. And like you said about Tunic game coming to Game Pass, true. And we're going to let you know, actually, when it's live for you to play, which is why you want to stay tuned. And later, good news, because we're all about streamers here on Twitch, We're going to check in with the streamer, Ash Said Hi, who will be playing Tunic live on her channel. So if you couldn't get enough, you want a quick preview of someone else playing it, someone who loves retro style games and is retro aesthetic, perfect person to have compliment that game.
Absolutely. What did you think about the first trailer that we saw, Last Eidolons?
I thought it looked really good, and one of the things that I loved about it is that during one of the skirmishes, I saw the protagonist one-shot someone. Like, I was looking at the health bar, and I was waiting to see it kind of chop down one by one. He swung once, health evaporated. Anytime I can do that, I feel like a gamer god, and the opening cinematic style and the fighting reminded me of a game called Lost Odyssey on the 360. Kaim was his name, and the opening battle was the same way, where you attack one enemy and there's a big, giant army behind them when they fight. It looked outstanding.
That is a deep cuts reference. I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, we got to keep this show moving. We've got a jam-packed show today, and so we're going to go ahead and get our first guest on. You may know him as the director and writer of games that push the boundaries of interactive narratives. With Silent Hill Shattered Memories, he created a classic game that psychologically profiled its players, and in her story, he reinvented the detective genre for the YouTube generation. His new project, Immortality, is his most ambitious yet. But before we say hi to Sam Barlow, let's take a look at the trailer for Immortality.
All right, well, we've got to take a short break here. Do you mind reading this out for us?
Now, marvelous magic will turn the next 60 seconds into a commercial.
To our star, our gorgeous, la bellissima Marissa Marcel. What is your name?
Marissa Marcel.
Did we get it right?
Give us a turn.
He's not who you think he is.
Are you honey? Is she okay?
Now you can proposition me.
Sam, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for showing us your new trailer for Immortality. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad we just saw the trailer because I was totally thinking all about Tunic. And so I needed that quick reset.
I know,
to
right?
remind me what I'm here to talk
The little
about.
fox is going to be on everybody's mind. I love that already in the chat. Root Boy Root says these graphics are so realistic, maybe not realizing the use of FMV. Do you find that maybe some of the newer generations of gamers don't really understand what FMV is because not a lot of games use it these days?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a novelty value there. Like when I first saw her story was the kind of game where I got into this thing, and that game came out of just being aware of how prevalent video was, right? Like when I grew up, if you wanted to watch a video, you had to go get a video cassette and stick it in some big heavy machine and play around with it. Now you're just watching video on your phone, sharing videos. Like it's as accessible as text or anything else would be. So that kind of was the spark for me, was thinking like, what do you do with people's familiarity with video? How do you make that into something that's interactive and interesting? So it was kind of coming in it from a very different perspective.
I love how you mentioned that video is so ubiquitous. I think it's something a lot of us take for granted, just how much it's a part of our daily lives. And I think that's what's so fascinating about what you do as a storyteller and the way that you craft your games and continue to push the envelope with the way that you use video. What can fans of yours and newcomers alike expect to find in the storytelling of Immortality?
So the idea here is to take some of the stuff I've done before. So I've kind of been digging into this idea of almost a Metroidvania of video, right? It's like, how do you tell an interactive story which is as open as an open world game, which has as much kind of expressivity as those kind of games, but in a very different way. So in my games, you'll be utterly free to explore the story kind of in any direction and sort of follow your own curiosity. And the way it works here is, if you could imagine the scene in a horror movie or a thriller where someone goes into the library and they're going through like the old microfiche cat, going through the kind of archives and digging up old stories and bits and pieces, or watching old cursed videotapes. That's kind of the vibe here. So we have Marissa Marcel, who is an actress who in the late 60s kind of starred in her first movie, and somehow she only ever films 3 movies, and none of those movies has ever made it out. So these are kind of these rare lost movies that no one has ever seen or heard of since, and no one knows what happened to Marissa Marcel. And so the player is going to go into the game and be digging through hours and hours of this archive of pieces of film and footage from these lost movies that we've discovered and put together. And so you're kind of investigating, watching these movies, putting together the stories of the movies themselves, but also kind of digging into the behind the scenes and kind of figuring out what in fact happened to Marissa Marcel. So you have this really self-driven kind of expressive way of interacting with a story. If you have something that you've noticed or you're particularly interested in, you can kind of dig into that area. So these games tend to be very fun to play on a couch with your partner, where you're both having ideas and theories about what's going on, and you can kind of discuss them as and when you're playing. So with this one, it was really important to us to, from the start, think about the living room experience. Have this on Xbox, have this be something that you can sit back and play together, and really dig into as well this cinematic texture. My love of movies and the kind of 20th century classic filmmaking, this is also a very deep dive into how movies are made, who makes them, how do movies work. We really want players to, think about how movies work, think about what it is to watch a movie, and kind of give them the tools to do that.
I mean, you pretty much summed up, I think, people's excitement about this game in a nutshell. It looks awesome. So I see that there's like 3 individual components. Are players able to kind of jump around, or is it more of a crafted experience where you go at them one at a time?
So like I say, it's very free. I think with my last game, I was referencing a lot of open world games. It was kind of how I saw it. When you start up an open world game, you can go in any direction, north, south, east, west. And you might see a little something. I'm going to see a small building on a hill and want to go there. And here, it's the story content itself. So from the start, you start with a very limited amount of footage that's available to you. And the beautiful mechanic that we have this time is, as you're watching a piece of footage, and everything you're watching is done through this interface which recalls like a classic moviola machine, right? When movies were made on film, when you're editing them, you have these big, loud, heavy machines, and you're rewinding, moving through the footage, splicing it together. And we've tried to kind of recreate that using modern technology. And when you're watching a scene, if you see something that interests you, and this is kind of magical, and I love it, you just pause the footage and click on that thing. So if you see a character and you see the face of a character you've not seen before, or a prop, so someone takes out a gun or a dagger and you're like, well, that's going places. Or maybe you're digging into the imagery in the movie. You're like, well, hey, I keep seeing pieces of fruit or a particular animal that clearly means something in this movie. You'll click on that, and then the code will, in real time, generate a match cut and cut to another piece of footage in which that item appears. So you're essentially assembling your own supercut of this movie, and using those visual elements, using characters, stories, plots, pieces, props, as this way of exploring, as the kind of breadcrumb trail. So very quickly, your individual curiosity and what you're responding to is what kind of drives you through this, and it becomes a very visual experience.
That sounds so awesome. Like, I love a good mystery, and it seems like it's going to be super interactive, and I know people are pumped to play, and I wish I could keep chatting with you about it, but we do have to unfortunately say goodbye. But I want you to tell people, where can they learn more about Immortality, and when can they play?
They'll be able to play, we're saying currently summer of this year, so very soon. We're in the final stages. If they want to hear more, they can go to halfmermaid.co, check us out on Twitter at halfmermaid, and we'll, as we get closer, start to peel back some of the layers. I think we've told people before that this is an investigative horror game, and the first question people ask me is like, in what way is this a horror? Like, what's the horror element? Where is the darkness? And maybe we'll start to peel back some of that as people kind of get closer to launch.
Well, we got to leave something for player discovery, though, right?
That's the key. It's always so hard. It's like, I don't want to tell you anything, right? I just want you to show up.
Good.
And
Yeah.
be amazed.
Mum's the word, everybody. Well, Sam, thank you so much for your time today, and enjoy the rest of your day. And everyone, you can look forward to Immortality, hopefully later this summer.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we've got more trailers, more gameplay, more ID at Xbox Showcase coming up next.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Idea Xbox. Happy to have you here. It's your boy O'Cajun, joined by Andrea Renee. We're hanging out, and we want to make sure that you all participate in chat to talk with us and speak with us about all the good things happening. Loving the comments so far. Someone said, I hope for some Crusader Kings 3 news. Guess what? We had some footage earlier, so if you want to, you can watch the VOD and check that out. We have some stuff coming up later on.
We got it. Checkbox. And I do want to call out one comment that I saw from Darth Mocha that says, this has got to be pre-recorded, and it's not. We are absolutely live on the internet right now. So we see your comments, Darth Mocha, and challenge you that we are not, in fact, pre-recorded. But some of the trailers obviously are handcrafted. You know, they're not being made up on the fly. Speaking of game trailers, our next game trailer is a cyber noir point-and-click adventure blending stunning retro design with innovative mechanics. I mean, this sounds great. I'm already in. Choose your clients, travel around the world, and solve dangerous cases using real-world research. Yep, let's take a look at Chinatown Detective Agency.
I'm Amira Dharma from Singapore.
Hi, my name is Leonie Ko, and I play Amira in Chinatown Detective Agency.
Wow, look at that! A new face! You here for the free Wi-Fi?
I'm looking for a book. I'm looking for The Histories by Herodotus.
From the get-go, I thought she was like femme fatale, hard-boiled, badass, cool.
What are you doing, Philip?
I'm done! I'm not going back!
Could be a waste of my time, but maybe not.
The game art is superb. The aesthetics really let me know what kind of character Amira was going to be. The vibe was like Pulp Fiction, Sin City. That was what I put into Amira.
I've never broken into the gardens at midnight before. Tiger Lily, is that a stage name or something?
I hope you guys really enjoy Chinatown Detective Agency. Badass, female, Singaporean, private investigator. I don't think it's been done before. I'm so hyped.
I dig it.
Yes, I'm into it. Let's go.
Andrea, you feeling that?
Yeah, I love the mix of art styles. I know some people in the chat were like, where are their eyes? But you can obviously get a lot more detailed character-facing art in the text boxes. So I like that they're kind of mixing old and new there.
I agree with you. And to prove this live, not pre-recorded, JPie3 said these point-and-click games are really good if you give them a chance. I agree. Games like this, you got to just really sink your teeth in. I promise you'll like it. We have other games you might like too, because our next guest is the creator and director, by the way, of the upcoming 2D, and just hear me out, roguelike meets golf-like. I'm not making it up. That's an actual thing, okay? The title is called Curse to Golf, which is being published by Thunderful Games. So for those who are wondering what that kind of mashup even looks like, well, good news. We have a trailer. It looks like this.
Product not yet rated.
Hi, I'm Liam Edwards, the director of Curse to Golf at Chuhai Labs. I'm the only one that made Curse to Golf.
That's factually incorrect.
In Curse to Golf, you golf. Also, you die. Also, you die again. Also, you die over and over again.
Golf-like.
Hit the green and take on 18 hellish holes in golf purgatory in your attempt to escape to the land of the living. Take your time to line up the perfect shot or go out in a blaze of glory. Just be careful, as with each new hole comes new hazards, new dangers, and new friends. Luckily, you might have a few aces up your sleeve. These bizarre and world-bending cards add new dimensions and make your journey that much more rewarding. It is up to you to take on every hole, fight each boss, and find your way out of this mysterious golf purgatory once and for all.
It's a golf-like.
I'm Liam Edwards, and this is Curse to Golf.
Curse to Golf looks fantastic, even better looking right now is Liam Edwards joining us right now. Welcome onto the show at ID Xbox. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Who was that annoying man? I'm very sorry about that.
You know what could be annoying is the idea of a golf-like roguelike, where they say you spend your purgatory in golf. What does that mean? Like, what is this?
Very hard to describe. On the surface level,
Okay.
It's a game that kind of pokes fun at the jokey, hellish nature that some people maybe think about golf. Combined with one of my sort of favorite genres out there, which is like roguelites, in this fun, weird physics-based kind of dungeon explorer. We have 18 holes, and they're all laid out like dungeons, and they have full of hazards for you to overcome. And you have to basically golf your way around. But on top of that, you have this card deck of all these different power-ups called ace cards, and you're able to bend them to your will to try and get through every single hole. If you survive all 18, you survive the game.
Now, some cool things right now is that people are saying things like love the mashup concept, and Rimney's saying after Golf Story, I love these blends. So I gotta wonder, what inspiration did you have to make this kind of game? You said you're in golf, you love these kind of hellish style games. Was there a particular moment you were playing something and you say, you know what this needs? It's more challenge.
It wasn't really started with golf, actually. It was thinking about roguelites. As a game designer, I think about genres a lot of the time, and that mashup is exactly right, which is how could I mash up some crazy weird things? And I thought about physics in a roguelite, and then that kind of naturally just led to golf, which is something, a game I played as a kid, actually, and had quite a bit of knowledge about. It's not really something I delve into now, but something I went through as a child and had to suffer through. So this is kind of almost like therapy for me, really, to be honest.
It's a nice way to go back and say, if I had to suffer, then guess what, new generation, you've got to suffer too and share in my agony.
You've got to suffer with me. Yeah, at this point, though, you are actually dead. So I don't know how much suffering there is after death, to be honest.
I mean, if you're playing golf, it can't be that dead, right? King Blade XX says, and I like this question right here, does it have bosses?
It does indeed, actually. You might have sneaked a peek there at one of the bosses. They're not bosses in the traditional sense because they're actually kind of supportive friends, but they're challenging you. They want to make sure that you are the pro that you say you are, because before you died or expired, as we say, you actually were a pro golfer. And the start of the game is you're about to win basically the largest golf tournament that possibly could exist. And you're about to become the greatest golfer of all time. And as you swing that final shot, you're struck with lightning. And so your travels through purgatory, golf purgatory, is to basically prove that you are the greatest golfer of all time and make it through the toughest 18 holes you possibly can. So yes, it is definitely about golf, but kind of, I don't know, a bit of a strange one.
No, I like that. It's like Meet Joe Black meets PGA Tour. We're all here for it right now. So it's a very good way to go about it. And for games like this that are so tough, one of the things I worry about and wonder about, and I personally love, is the challenge of the nature, right? And the nature of the challenge. So for you, someone who is so well versed in this game, I have to wonder, what's the challenge like? What makes it hazardous along the way, and what benefits you?
It's funny you say that, because that's something I ask myself every single day as officially right now the world's best player of Curse to Golf. What we're aiming to do, roguelites is supposed to be challenging. And in Curse to Golf, if you do fail a hole, you have 5 shots to finish a hole. So if you think of a traditional par 5, but it's the inverse, which is, that's kind of your health. We have something called the par count. And if you run out of shots on your par count, you will round over. So it's up to you to try and use these ace cards, try and get good at golf. We have spin mechanics and everything to add some nice little platforming to it as well. But if you do fail, then you return back to hole 1, back to the beginning. There's going to be a lot of cards and a lot of nice little boons and power-ups for you to basically stall that demise and try and ascend as best as you can to the 18th hole.
Really quick question. Are they randomly generated, though?
They are not randomly generated. Unlike normal roguelites, golf didn't really suit the sort of, with golf shots, you want to hit like a variety, and we thought like random generation was not necessarily the way to go to get the best out of the courses. So we do have over 80 hand-designed holes, and then the way the golf course actually works is it randomizes and kind of uses like a labyrinth system to determine the difficulty of your run. So even on your first run, the first time you jump into the hole 1 again might not be the first hole again, and you might have an entirely different hole. And then it's up to you to try and put everything together that you've learned on previous runs and tie it nicely together.
Well, perfect. We got the gist of it. We got some gameplay, everything you could possibly want. So where do we go to find out more information? How can we follow up on updates on this?
You can follow us on Twitter at Shuhai Labs. We also, with our wonderful publisher, Thunderful Games, they're posting a lot as well, so you can go to their website, thunderfulgames.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at LiamBME, because I tweet about this game all the time, like one of those terrible people who talks nothing about their own project.
No, that's the perfect kind of narcissism. Thank you so much, Liam Edwards, for
Exactly.
being here.
Thank
the
you,
golf,
everybody.
looking
Thank you
really
for having
good.
me.
Peace, man. Take it easy.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. It looks really good. We know let's talk more games and you're listening, so we're going to do that for you. We're going to have another short break, and we come back, more ID Xbox and more games. So stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ID at Xbox Showcase. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by Okadrian, and we have got lots more games to come. Adrian, it's been going pretty good so far.
Everything's going really well. The games look fantastic. A lot of people have been saying, I don't want just this one game. I want these 1, 2, or 3 to add to my wish list. And to prove that we are not pre-recorded, because that's an ongoing tale and saga, Kyle C. Fritz, who spoke 1 minute ago, said, and I quote, "So far, the interviews have been really fun and perfect amount of depth and detail." Andrea, that's us.
That's so kind, Kyle. Thank you so much for your lovely comment. Keep them coming.
Yeah, shouts to Kyle. Good looking out, man.
And speaking of keeping things coming, we've got more exciting new trailers for you. So let's take a look at what's coming soon to Xbox.
This is Xenozoic, a strange punk fantasy world with even stranger inhabitants. In the chaotic society they live, Pseudo, a martial artist forsaken by his master, has chosen to live as a recluse. Your adventure starts when he wakes up and hears mysterious music, which guides him to the boy, an orphaned creature whose incredible powers have attracted the attention of Gemini, the dying mistress of the artifacts. Unable to leave the boy to face this threat alone, Pseudo decides to protect him, unaware that much larger forces are at play. Chased by the servants and mercenaries working for Gemini, you must use your fists and your mastery of various martial arts, which can be freely alternated between based on the enemies you face and your preferences. You learn new techniques and improve your attacks as you progress and build your own fighting style. One law reigns in Xenozoic, the ritual. If you wish, you can challenge enemies to this dice game before a fight begins to determine the rules of combat. The winner applies the effect of an artifact onto the opponent, which can include fighting in a cloud of fog or having a chain limit their movements. Far from determining the winner or loser, these rule changes present an opportunity to be exploited if you win the ritual, or a challenge to be overcome if you lose. Outside of combat, you'll wander this intriguing world, seeking out its paths, secrets, and shortcuts. You'll meet strange characters, collect artifacts and items that can be used to craft weird objects that will aid your journey. And at night, Pseudo's dreams are so vivid that they take on a life of their own. You wake up with a distorted visage in a dreamlike Xenozoic, where new areas become accessible and dark creatures emerge. Inspired by surrealism and punk fantasy stories, Clash, Artifacts of Chaos promises to be an indie action adventure like you have never seen or experienced before.
I'm Emperor T-Pain the Devout, holiest of holies, Pope Almighty. And I want to announce that I'm officially starting my own religion. Kaboom. You see, it all began in the year 1066, when the Pope wouldn't let me excommunicate my wife. They said there wasn't enough evidence of adultery, but we all know the real reason is because her brother was high and mighty King of France. Mr. Goody Two-Shoes Catholic over here. But then I remembered, I'm a freaking paragon of virtue. Look, I don't know why nobody's thought of this before, because it's friggin' brilliant. I'm a medieval genius. I got so much faith. I could just make my own religion where divorce is legal. Kaboom, problem solved. We'll call it, check me, Buddhism. Of course, that's allowed. That's definitely allowed. We should encourage that. It's going to be a liberal and forward-thinking religion, a church for the people that's going to benefit everybody. As the leader of this religion, I will have the final say in who I can divorce and or marry. Yeah, see? Probably should have seen that coming. Good for them. Get it on Xbox Game Pass, coming March 29th.
Buddhism. Let's go.
He's making all the right moves, making his own religion, allowing witchcraft, allowing adultery. He just knows how to play the game, it looks like.
I mean, I said on the break when we were watching these trailers, I was like, whatever they spent on T-Pain was worth it, because I'm loving these trailers. And I saw that in the chat, people are demanding a stream from T-Pain, so maybe we can get that once the game is finally out.
Hey, Bryce99210 says, I'm a supporter of Buddhism. You know what? You and me both. You and me both. But it wasn't just that. There were two other games right there, too. Andrew, what you think? Got a favorite?
So I really love the art style of Clash, Artifacts of Chaos. It's got a very cel-shaded look, and it's got a cute little companion. Who doesn't like a good companion NPC? Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It looks really nice, and I like the first-person mode they show with the fisticuffs. Reminds me of a game called Breakdown on Xbox. Looks really good. I'm pumped for that. But there's more games, obviously, and our next game right here, ID at Xbox Showcase, is a perfect pick for anyone who loves, I don't know, escape rooms, which, you know, probably haven't been a big thing the past, let's say, 2.5 years or so. You can't quite get off the couch, right? But the team at I Am 8-Bit, with shout-outs to them,
they were nice enough to send along a full build, okay, of the game for us to demo live right here for the very first time. But before we get locked into a room together, let's take a look at Escape Academy.
What are you waiting for? A room full of memory gas is no place to relax. Impressive. I knew I saw potential in you.
Ah, there you are.
Welcome to the Academy.
What's up? It's not the first time my art's been torn to shreds.
Greetings. Dishonesty has no place at the Academy.
Hey there! Enough water! They're already hydrated!
My star student.
What the hell have we gotten ourselves into?
Escape Academy!
All right, are you ready to do this? I feel like the entire internet is going to judge our escape performance, so hopefully we don't disappoint.
Andrea, we are two of the smartest people that I know, so I have no fear whatsoever.
Ah, thanks. I appreciate the vote of confidence. And I also love how the concept of this game is that it's supposed to make you better at escape rooms because it is, in fact, an academy. So maybe after this, we will be escape room masters.
Yeah, there was some context there too, but honestly, I just want to get into the game and I want to solve the puzzle because I feel like we're being judged and I will not be judged.
So for everybody watching, Okadrian is controlling the game and I'm just here to help him solve the puzzles, but there is a multiplayer component. But I'm going to be honest, for anybody who watches my streams over at What's Good Games, you guys know that I sometimes have trouble multitasking and I get incredible gamer face. And because I wanted to focus on the puzzle elements of this game, I was like, Adrian, how about you just control the game and I'll just watch?
I promise to say things every now and then, just probably not most of the time. So I'm relying on you to carry us through this conversation piece.
I am here for that. And I also want to give I Am 8-Bit a shout out. I saw you guys in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us on stream today. And we are, already got this underway. So what have you found so far in the world that you think might help us? Should I get a pen and paper going?
Maybe. There's a bunch of sculptures that have yellow markings on them. Some of them have different things, like that one has a yellow dot right there. This one over here teases a maze and has a circle in the outline down there. There's a paint splotch right there. There's a door that needs a key, it looks like, or some kind of thing for a nose, and we don't have it yet, so something's got to have a line somewhere.
Okay, so lots of yellow things.
Yes. Something goes in this table. It wants us to use an item that we don't have yet.
I think it's really interesting how this game really kind of blends some of the traditional puzzle elements you would see in a point-and-click adventure game, but also makes it more pressure-based because of the escape room nature of it. So I think people who are good at, old-school puzzle games, like, my friend Christine Steimer, will probably be really good at this. Maybe I'll just have to call her up and be like, hey, can you help me?
Yeah, if you're watching, feel free to help us out and say whatever needs to be. Oh, look at this. It's a painting, but the painting is out of order. It has arrows on it, so I'm guessing it's up to us to put it in the right order and figure out what direction things go.
All right, this seems like it's pretty easy. I believe in you. You can do this.
I believe in you. I like that. Yeah, go ahead, Adrian. Good luck to you, man. Looks like up, then right, then left. Is that right?
I see. Well, I guess I don't know what you're looking at.
So right here on the screen, the puzzle it's like someone took a painting and just chopped it up and put it out of order.
Oh, you're trying to line up the arrows, right?
Yeah, I want the painting to line up so the arrows go in order, starting from left to right. And I think the far most right strip is the far left strip. So the first input would be up.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So in order to move the strips, you have to match the inputs?
Yeah. You gotta memorize that.
Interesting.
We'll come back to that.
Wait, what does that
this
sign
is
say?
important.
How to draw good. Wait.
Yeah.
Bananas, cheese, wine. Wait, this is my grocery list.
Yeah. We have bananas too. We got one of those. So it's oh, look at that, an arrow. I wonder. This seems important.
I feel like we need to prioritize finding the cheese and wine because those are always on my grocery list.
Caution, wet, invisible ink. Oh, maybe we need a UV light or something. Oh, look at this. It's a door that has colors, which means the colors have to go in a certain order. It'll make
Interesting.
sense.
And that mark, that yellow mark, was the mark that was on the ground.
Oh, you know what I bet it is?
Outside.
This right here goes by colors, right? So you can choose your color. This board right here has 4 items. Banana, cheese, wine, and, well, weight. I'm guessing banana is painted blue, so the first input is blue, so we've got to find the cheese and wine to find the other order.
You know, I did not think that that's the direction you were going with that, and I'm not sure that's correct, but you know what? It's a lead, and you got to try all the leads in these games.
I'm not sure that's correct, but...
Hey, I wanted to call out. I see Level 1 Gamer in chat is saying, I've never been around for one of these events. Does this mean the announcements are over? No. We have more announcements, more interviews, more trailers coming. We just wanted to show you guys a little bit of gameplay of Escape Academy from I Am 8-Bit and Coin Crew Games, which is coming out later this year.
This says,
because it's Twitch. We got to do some gameplay. We don't want to have a showcase and have only trailers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Wine. Banana. There was one more thing that goes here, according to the painting. The cheese! Gotta find the cheese! Where do you find cheese?
You think it's in this room?
I feel like that's too easy. Oh, look at this! Arrow directions. I bet that's the puzzle. Wouldn't surprise me if the cheese was in there. We have to get through there to find out. Or the cheese could be in the garbo.
I don't see anything for... No, cheese is not in the trash.
That's not where you'd put it?
I mean, it depends what kind of cheese it is. Let's be real.
That's 100% true. That's facts. I gotta find cheese, Andrea.
You think it's in that locked closet? Or do you think it's outside?
Something's in there. I'm gonna go back outside because we haven't been out here in a minute. So, if I was cheese, where would I be?
Beastly Benno, that is the question. Okay. So we've got more. There is also a hint feature if we, want to use the hint for the sake of time.
I don't know. I feel like the internet would never let us live it down. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's probably true, but
all these
we don't have an
different.
infinite amount of time to solve any of this, and we're probably not going to solve it. Which is probably for the best because we don't want to show you guys all the puzzles, right? Wait, what'd you find?
I like that. No, the fact that we're not going to solve this, so
I'm just giving us an out, Adrian. Okay?
I respect it. Look, this arrow thing right here is bothering me. Okay, it's got to be up. I got it. Up, down, right down. Up, down, right, down, left. I'm wrong?
I guess so.
Let's use the hand feature.
Do you know how to open your inventory?
Yeah, right here. Oh, the cheese. I already have it. I already had the cheese, Andrea.
There it is. Paint-stained cheese.
Creating art's no picnic.
Paint-stained cheese, rather.
Oh, look at this. It's a number series.
Oh, okay. I see what's happening here.
139. We're missing the weight. 139. Ah. Easy.
I have to say, I'm very impressed at the speed at which you are solving this.
I'm flabbergasted
There
right
it
now.
is.
Anti-invisible ink. Let's go. Oops.
Ah, the
Here we go,
suspense.
here we go.
Will Adrian keep playing the game and I'm going to have to host the rest of the showcase by myself? Who could say? Many thanks, though, to the team over at I Am 8-Bit for sending over the build for us to check out and for you guys to take a look at here on the stream today. If you guys want to get updates on Escape Academy, please follow at I Am 8-Bit on Twitter, and we look forward to solving those puzzles later on this year. You did well, Adrian. I'm very impressed.
I didn't do well enough.
It's okay. You can feel sorry about it later. But we do have a bit of good news, everybody. Tunic is now live on Xbox Game Pass, and Ash Said Hi is playing live on their channel, and you can check it out at twitch.tv/Ash Said Hi. And you can find them in the Control Plus app under participants, or follow them, jump to their stream, check it out if you guys want to see some gameplay of Tunic. And don't forget, you can now download it today.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. And if you want to get an idea of what it's like to play the game and to see a streamer's reactions to it, we're going to actually take a peek in on Ash Said Hi. And the good news is right now, she can't hear us. She can't see us. This is our own moment to peek in. Look at this moment.
It's so
Look at the
pretty.
concentration. It really is. This is like, we knew it was gorgeous, right, from watching all the trailers and gameplay, but there's no way she's not any further than 5, 10, 15 minutes into the game. This is the first thing you see. Are you kidding me?
I'm in. I like it. Look at the concentration on her face.
Yeah.
That's like
Ash
me.
has the gamer face. Love it.
If you guys want to check out more Tunic gameplay, head on over to twitch.tv/Ash Said Hi, hit that follow button, and check out their channel.
I'm still at a loss of words right now because I've only got one thing in my mind, and it's the fact that Escape Academy has robbed me of my moral victory. But the good news is we're going to have a break right now and we'll have a moment to decompress. And the good news is we'll have more games right here at ID Xbox. So stay tuned. I'm going to go play this right now. Right now. Welcome back, everyone, to the ID at Xbox Showcase. Your boy O'Cadron chilling right here with Andrea, and we're bringing you all the good indie games that you've been looking forward to for, I don't know, forever?
Yeah, obviously forever. It's been so long. But I digress. Are you ready to hit the slopes for some snowboarding action? I know, it wasn't the best transition. Stick with me, everybody. Shredders arrives tomorrow on Game Pass, and ID at Xbox Showcase has the latest trailer. But first, a quick message from the devs behind Shredders. Take a look.
Yo, welcome to Foam Punch. We're super happy to launch the game. This is almost the whole team, not the whole team. So behind us is a bunch of boards, so we scanned them in that booth there, our photography booth, and we're super stoked that we can finally ride those boards. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Thank you for playing and have fun. Yeah!
Doesn't it just make you want to catch some fresh powder?
It does. Like, I used to snowboard, and it means a lot to me because you never forget your first concussion, ironically, and I got mine from snowboarding, and this brings memories back. It's just flooding in.
So you're saying you've had multiple concussions?
Well, if I did, I don't remember them right. I do remember snowboarding is a blast. We've come a long way from the likes of Cool Borders and 1080 snowboarding. It looks fantastic.
Absolutely. I got to take a look at this back during the winter gathering, and now that we're almost into spring, going up to the slopes is probably not on my mind as much as going to the beach, but that's what's great about video games is that you can transport yourself to anywhere at any time, and it seems like the chat seems pretty hyped for this.
Oh, yeah, they've been waiting for this. I think in the top of the show, people were saying Shredders, 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 and Shredders. It's here, and it looks really good.
Absolutely. But up next, Derek Bradley, the game director on Fling Talk, is going to be talking to O'Cadron. But before we meet him, let's take a look at the trailer.
Down in the dust where our blackened lungs fill with the sound of the battles won. We bathe in the blood of that rising sun and breathe in the power of the smoking gun. Down in the depths of the wounded ground, there at the gates of the golden crown, we bathe in the blood of that rising sun and breathe in the power of the smoking gun. of the powders below, and laugh in the faces of the gods below. We'll die by the light of the powders below, and laugh in the faces of the gods below.
That was Flintlock. I'm O'Kadrian. I'm joined by Derek Bradley, the game director of Flintlock. How you doing, homie? Welcome aboard.
I'm good. Yeah, thank you for having me.
You know, people in the chat are already very smart about this. I saw someone who said, hey, you know what? I loved Ashen. And that was their only comment, which means they know your history and they might have expectations. So in terms of how it correlates to this game, if you played Ashen, are you going to have a familiarity with how this game's going to play?
Yeah, you know, Ashen was really, it was our first game at A44, so it's a massive thing in the genetics of the company. Certainly all of that really hard-hitting combat, all of that kind of stuff, but this one is very much us taking that, expanding on it. You can kind of see the visual style in the trailer itself and like how far we've pushed that, but that's expanded into every other part of the game, so can't wait to see what people think.
I can't wait to see it either. Like, the thing is that intrigues me, one of the things that intrigues me the most is the fact that the game is called Flintlock. You're holding a flintlock, but I feel like it can't be that on the nose, right? Like, can you give us a sneak peek or an idea of what that title means, if there's significance to the flintlock?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's actually quite an interesting thing. We took like a fantasy world which would have had dark magic and the undead and all of those kinds of things, and we took human society to a tech level where flintlock pistols and guns and all those kinds of things had just been invented. And so I suppose the whole proposition is like, how would this play out? Now, how would something like Lord of the Rings play out if people had just invented gunpowder and they were able to blow things up? And you could you know, where a wizard would be all powerful because they could throw a fireball at you, well, now you could shoot a cannon back, you know. It's really interesting, and like there's a lot of really fun stuff we can do with that, yeah, in relation to those kind of dark and terrible magics that also exist within the world.
You're bringing about all the dreams people want. You know, I'm just picturing moments of Lord of the Rings where he's like, I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood, but and then Flintlock. And that's the easy conversation to have right there. So you're putting everything full front. One of the questions that's been perusing right now, the chat, one of the questions I see is, I want to pet the dog. Can you pet the dog? Pet dog, bird, yes, no. Derek, can we pet the dog?
It's a deep question. It is a really deep question, and something that we don't really like to talk about, you know? I feel like he's just got a lot of attitude, you know? And so I think so, like, when it comes down to him, he is kind of the epitome of all that dark magic and all of that all that stuff that kind of the human technology opposes, you know. Just patting him might be a bit disrespectful to him. I'm not too sure, you know. We're sort of still trying to work it out with him. He's got a bit of an ego, you know, but we'll see if we can convince him to let you pet him, I suppose.
You know, Derek, I gotta say that was the most political answer I've heard in my entire life. And I love it so much.
I think like petting the dogs is so important, you know. It really is.
We don't even know if that is a dog because it has dog-like features. Is that a constant companion? Does it summon, or is it just with us the entire time?
Yeah, so that little guy's with you the whole time. He's essentially like your companion. He you know, where you bring all that like flintlock weaponry, you bring the guns and the bombs and all that kind of stuff that you could possibly do as a soldier. That little guy brings all the dark magic. So you'll sort of see right at the start of the trailer, he's got like these little bird claws, and he's got monkey paws actually on the front, and he's sort of covered in feathers, and he's got horns as well. But he's sort of like a fox-like creature overall. And yeah, as you go through the game, you kind of figure out who he is, and what his whole sort of story is.
No, I love the majesty of the setting. I love looks like a boss at the very end that has the giant hole in his head that kind of glimmers and glows the entire time too. So what kind of art style were you looking to accomplish this time around compared to Ashen?
Yeah, because it's a big jump up for us, and as I say, like, I mean, for every single part of the game, from art style right through to character progression, all of that kind of stuff, it's a massive step up. For us, you know, it's really just sympathetic to the medium, like what we're trying to do at the moment, and with us kind of stepping into sort of this like pre-industrial Napoleonic type tech level. We wanted to really portray that with a lot more of a realistic style, I suppose you could say. But also, you know, for our studio, it's just invigorating to try new things, to test our limits and push as far as we can.
And you've had success in the past. You've done some great stuff. And the funny thing about a trailer, too, is you never know if the trailer is giving you a glimpse of what is or what is not possible. And I know the other day when we spoke in like rehearsal, I was like, hey, when I saw the Ashen trailer and I played the game, it properly represented it, right? Do you feel like this trailer properly represents what this game is going to end up like?
Yeah, I think that's something that we like sort of deeply believe in A44. Like all of the stuff that you see here is captured in engine, so we've essentially just used the spaces that we have in the game. We've used the characters we have in the game and posed them for the trailer. But it really is just, this is what it's going to look like. So yeah, very similar to Ashen in that regard.
Man, you got to feel really good about that too, because people are they're saying positive things right now in the chat. They like the cinematics. They think it looks beautiful, and of course, they want to find out if you can pet the fox bird doggo thing, which we'll find out in the future, as you pointed out, maybe sort of kinda. But if we want to follow updates on whether or not that's possible, where can we get more information?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can find our website if you just search Flintlock or A44 Games. You'll be able to find us on Twitter. You'll be able to find us on our website. You'll be able to find us pretty much everywhere. Google it, and you'll see us wherever you want to find us.
That's my favorite answer, is just Google us and you'll find us there. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for the information, and thank you for bringing us this wonderful cinematic trailer. It looks fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Hey, that looked really good, right? And everyone, I tried to get an answer, but that was some really good navigation by Derek, so respect to him. Up next, Andrea Benet is going to talk to two devs from Roblox. Looks like Jansen Madsen and Matthew Houghton, creative director and technical director at Splitting Point Studios, which is the studio behind the viral hit Wacky Wizards and high fidelity phenomenon Rolling Thunder. Take it away, Andrea.
Thanks, Adrian, and welcome, Jansen and Mad. Welcome to the show, guys. How's it going?
Hello. Hey. Yeah, it's great. Real glad to be here. Yeah, we're excited.
So Splitting Point Studios has made quite a name for itself within the Roblox community for making all kinds of stuff. But the latest thing that people are talking about, of course, is Rolling Thunder. And this game that you guys created doesn't even look like it's inside Roblox. It's just bonkers. How long has it been in development?
Yeah, we've been working on it for 6 months now. And yeah, it's just crazy. Like, we honestly kind of just started it out as like a hobby project. And then we just it's just gone so far, and like the graphics are crazy cool for like streaming on demand, and yeah, it's real fun.
And you guys are no strangers to the Roblox community. You've been making content and doing content creation for quite some time now. I would say very well known within the Roblox community. How have you guys really seen the journey, not only of what you have been doing as a studio, but really where the kind of UGC community has come? I mean, it feels like Roblox has just like skyrocketed in the last couple of years.
It has, yeah. It's gone insane. I mean, I've been on the platform for about 10 years. So that's like, you know, almost my entire memorable life since then. And yeah, it's gone from, you know, basically being like a little sandbox, toolbox to, yeah, what we have today, which is, you know, like so many projects people are making, the comments on them are, it doesn't look like Roblox. And it's going to become a thing where, you know, that becomes a thing where it's like, it does look like Roblox now, just because of so many tools they're adding. And, you know, yeah, you can see like, it's just every day it's getting more and more, yeah. modern, I guess.
Do you think that this is going to be the wave of the next generation of game developers? I mean, obviously tools like Unity and Unreal Engine are always going to be important, but it feels like the kind of toolbox that Roblox is handing to young creators feels so approachable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the transition from like player to developer, like on Roblox, is so seamless and easy. Like we hit this, like literally, like every kid plays Roblox, right? Like as they like grow older and they start getting teenage years, like it's absolutely going to happen. Like it's just going to be a natural thing. Like everyone, like you start going from playing Roblox to developing on Roblox.
So when was that period for you? And do you find yourself not wanting to go back and play because you're doing just too much work? Do you ever just go in and like just mess around for funsies?
Yeah, that was like I was 10 years ago. I think Jansen was a bit more recent, about 3 years ago or so. But I would say we still play heaps of Roblox games all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people that make games and develop games are, game players primarily, and that's no different for us. So a lot of our inspiration is from, playing other people's projects and kind of being like, oh, what if we could do this as well? Or like, what if we changed it in this little way? And then, Roblox as a platform, one of the main reasons we use it, because once you have that thought, it's, a lot easier to kind of just jump in and make that change.
Yeah.
Which we do.
That's so awesome that it can kind of be a collaborative experience with your community. And speaking of which, we unfortunately don't have enough time to keep talking about Rolling Thunder, though I have a bazillion questions about it. But if people in the chat want to keep up with the development of what you guys are working on, where's the best place to follow you guys?
Yeah, you can just follow my Twitter, shameless plug right here, Jandal, RBLX. You can just Google it and it should come up, hopefully.
We're all about the shameless plugs here at the Idea at Xbox Showcase, so it's not shameless. Plug away. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me about Rolling Thunder, and like he said, you can go ahead and follow him at Jandal, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Cool,
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, we have got more show to come, but we have another quick break, so don't go anywhere. More surprise Game Pass announcements are coming up next.
Welcome back to ID at Xbox Showcase. Okay, Adrian here, joined by Andrea Renee, and we have been putting on a clinic with some really good video games.
That is correct. I put on a clinic. I like that saying. I do see you in chat trying to defend your performance in Escape Academy, and don't worry, it's okay. We all believe that you would have solved the puzzle if you'd been given just 2 more minutes.
I kid you not. I've been dwelling on this for like 20 minutes. Like, it has not left my mind. I've been sitting here stewing in the background like, I bet if I had 2 more minutes and we're going live. Are we? Because I want to play some more. So thank you for acknowledging that.
See, this is what happens when you let him play a game in the middle of the stream. I told him that it was risky. But what's not risky is the chunk of new trailers we've got for you guys. Let's take a look at what's coming to Xbox soon.
Hello! Today we will show you a bit of the new There Is No Light gameplay, along with a couple of unseen locations. Hope you'll enjoy what we prepared for you. Now, we are located at Frontier. Pilgrims from all Underworld gather there to take their path to Messiah, their savior. But Solar Corps kill any heretic they can catch. We took a secret path through caves to reach the Pilgrims' camp. Along the hero's way, he will meet many people and creatures who need his support. Help or not is your choice, which will affect the hero's karma. Karma will be needed in future, so be mindful of your choices and decisions. First Pilgrims Camp. Here, you can gather some information about Messiah, Pilgrims, and the Lighthouse of Hope. Some people can give you subquests with great rewards, so don't miss them.
Go race, Peter.
Here they are. Cannibals. They may look funny and stupid, but bloodlust made them very dangerous and aggressive. Here, you can see Karma Door, which can be used as a shortcut. For using these doors, the hero pays with his karma. Cannibals have strange architecture. They build their houses on top of each other, and that brings many conflicts among them. A tough fight ahead. Let's battle through it. Pilgrims believe that to clean your soul, you should look into holy water and reject any evil within you. I think our hero has many secrets because his evil side is tough as hell. There Is No Light is coming out this year.
Man, the Twitch chat comments for There Is No Light were hilarious. The cannibals living on top of each other, the the grunts, I love it.
I like that impression of the I got pumped. I got called out.
Sounded like.
They knew I would like Void Train, and I do like Void Train. It's Trains meets Half-Life. If Half-Life was about existential dread in the void, it looks great.
I like that Brunamania in chat said they thought it looked like Polar Express and Snowpiercer got into a fight.
Yeah, that's about what it comes down to right there. Yeah.
Battle of the Trains.
All of you
But you
love video
expressed
games.
some very intriguing sounds during the Whalefall trailer.
You know, I did because the fact that Whalefall started off with anime, right? A very Ni no Kuni style, and I thought it was going to transition into the gameplay. But there was this juxtaposition, right, of the anime style and then origami style artwork for the game. So that's why I kind of made the like I was making the There Is No Right sounds during the trailer.
Yeah, it looks like the cutscenes and some of the narrative dialogue scenes in the gameplay are going to be in that anime style, and then it looks like the gameplay itself, is in the complementary art style. It's interesting. We don't see a lot of games doing that.
No, but we do see a lot of games, and we're going to see even more, including this next game, which I am extremely biased towards, right? We're going to meet the dabs and stars behind a little game called WrestleQuest. Now, WrestleQuest is the only game that allows you to powerbomb, suplex, and taunt your way through a massive RPG world where wrestling, action figures, and toys collide. So before we, meet the team, let's watch, I've always wanted to say this, let's watch the world premiere trailer of WrestleQuest.
And now, introducing the next great legend of wrestling. From humble beginnings to the electrifying figure, taking the world by storm. Bravely embarking on an epic quest from parts unknown. The journeyman traveling the world to take on the very best. He's here and ready to make his mark on history, facing legendary challenges. The biggest name in town, the man who draws a crowd wherever he goes, the rising star that everyone wants to know. An unstoppable, insurmountable, high-flying behemoth in the ring. Unbelievable! He's bringing out moves we've never seen before. Wow! Can you believe it? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah! Wrap your tights. It's time for WrestleQuest.
Ah, man, this is my favorite time of the day. I've been waiting. I'm going to try to do this as professionally as possible. Welcome the founder of MegaCast Studios. James is with us. We got the last outlaw, Double J. Jeff Jarrett is here. And, of course, my man, Mr. Five-Time himself, Booker T. Thank you all for joining me for this.
Thanks, Adrian. Hyped to be here.
Thank you. What's up?
Yeah, love to have you all here. I heard that Adrian was up in the background, good looking out. Of course, first things first. Big shout outs to Queen Charmel. Well deserved. Hall of Fame. Yeah, you know what it is.
Yes, indeed. My queen taking her rightful place next to her king. So, yes, beautiful team.
Yes, sir. Happy to have you all here today. James, want to start off with you. Hey, you know what? Maybe you haven't held any championships that I know of, but with this game right here, I think you've got a championship on the way. Tell me what we're looking at right now. What is this?
I want to add that I'm definitely starting out WrestleQuest here from a fan perspective. Like, this is a multi-year, 3-year project where our team is just so excited about. Although I've never wrestled, I have powerbombed my children to sleep, and I often wrestle my team members at the office. So we have insurance for it. It's all good, and it's major creative inspiration for us. But so WrestleQuest is the world's first wrestling RPG. It's very much inspired by nostalgia from the ground up. It's the art style, it's the IP, the storytelling. If I describe WrestleQuest really broadly, it's Toy Story with Lord of the Rings storytelling through the lens of a wrestling universe. So everything here is wrestling. There's no kayfabe. Wrestling's always on, and wrestling is life. So it's very much packed in every nook and cranny with just this very, very real love for wrestling that we've transformed with just a number of amazing legends that we've had a chance to work with, like Jeff and Booker.
Yeah, we got some live gameplay right here. And Booker, I'll start with you. I remember we spoke earlier, and you mentioned that you were a gamer. We were talking about how in video games, it's always the pageantry and the entrances, and can you brain buster off the top rope? But finally, we have a game that talks about the story element of wrestling. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Yeah, that's the part of wrestling that's near and dear to my heart. I always talk about the Shakespeare, the Romeo and Juliet, the Phantom of the Opera, the Encore, the Bravo. Being able to go out and tell a great story through professional wrestling has always been the pinnacle of the professional wrestler trying to get to that point. Through a game like this, the fans actually have a chance to actually feel what it's like to be inside of the game.
That's big shout outs to that. And Double J, of course, you know all about wrestling and storytelling and what it's like to reinvent. So can you talk to me about the process that you were looking forward to as well in this game?
You know, coming from a wrestling family, I'm a third-generation wrestling promoter. I've wrestled for over 35 years, and at the very core of it, we're all about an emotional connection through storytelling. And if you want to go back to the 80s with Macho Man or Andre, or the 90s, all through the generations, it's all about a connecting emotionally. You can have the greatest move set in the world, which is very, very important. But at the end of the day, you've got to have the characters, you got to have the persona, and you have to tell the story. And James and his team at Mega Cat have blown me away since day one, because that's what they've sort of dialed into, is the art of the storytelling, and WrestleQuest is certainly going to do that.
I'm happy you brought that up too. And James, to kick it off to you, I want to say first off, thank you for including one of my favorite storytellers, my favorite wrestlers of all time, Jake the Snake Roberts. I remember when I was a kid, his beef with Macho Man and the whole Earthquake sitting on Damien storylines. When I saw those as a kid, I legit thought they hated each other. I thought Earthquake killed Damien. I thought Jake was blind in one eye for WrestleMania 7. Like, I was involved in all that. So for you to include this kind of stuff in the game, that's big props.
Yeah, you know, man, it's been so much fun to work on, and the game very much is just layer after layer of like our dreams of what we wanted to bring to the games industry. Like, most of us were inspired by this era of gaming, by that era of wrestling. Yes. And you know, I'm in Pittsburgh. That's where our office is. We're a major sports town. And it could be blasphemous at times to say that we care more about wrestling than the Steelers here, but it's the truth at the office. You know, it's like it's something that we've just poured our hearts into, and I think you can see it as you start to work through the storytelling in the game. So it starts off with a young Randy Santos, who later becomes Muchacho Man. You know, his entire life is inspired by 80s wrestling. So he's sitting in a living room like many of us, about 3 to 5 feet away, because it's an old CRT. And he just glued in, and that eventually is what inspires him to follow in the footsteps of these heroes through indie promotions and trying and pushing, and all the character development of, you know, getting found, putting your reps in, tapping into the kind of tribalism and mentorship of like senior wrestlers, pulling you under their wing and working through the character development through trials and tribulations of making a name in a world that's full of other people, you know, competing at the highest level. So it definitely has a lot of playfulness on the aesthetics for nostalgia, but the storytelling, we think, is just packed full with something fairly representative of what we think fantasy and the intersection of like autobiographical wrestling storytelling is about.
You're looking out for that. And go ahead.
Sorry, Adrian. I do want to add one more thing. So you can probably tell that Muchacho Man is like heavily inspired by Macho Man, who's one of the flagships. All-time greatest, right? So he's kind of front and center into what inspires Muchacho to follow in these footsteps. And throughout this development, you'll just see a number of independent wrestlers and legendary wrestlers that take part in this universe as heroes that entire cities are dedicated to. So the way that we're actually working with the most legendary wrestlers is each one is a Statue of Liberty style of monument where wrestling towns are founded upon their legacy. Same thing for Booker and Shermel. You know, Jeff, of course, has an amazing town. Tells you all about the history of guitars and wrestling, and then third-generation promoter lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's very much like a immersive storytelling experience where when you're working through these angles, and I think this is really going to be fun for wrestling fans. Upon completing objectives and quests dedicated to these critical paths in these legendary cities, you have an opportunity to either unlock them as managers, unlock exclusive story cinematics, or unlock pieces of gear and equipment that kind of inform how your characters are built out and how that progression takes place. So I just wanted to glue that high-level concept together, because I think that's usually the first question wrestling fans ask when we have shown them the game privately.
No, I respect that, and it makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned to Double J, so I'll go to you first. Do you have a favorite wrestling town that you speak to in this game, or just in general?
You know what? Here's the thing that I was just sitting here thinking. I'm watching the chat come in. Adrian, this is all kind of new to me. This whole it's really cool. But the thing that has attracted me to the entire WrestleQuest, no matter what town it may be, is, and Booker probably can relate to this, whether it's an action figure or a video game or whatever it may be through the years, authenticity is, for me, it's at the very, very top of my list on getting engaged with it. And that's what WrestleQuest is. James just went over point after point after point of just how immersive the experience is. And so that is at the very top of the list for me, is no matter what town. And look, me and Booker both have podcasts, and you'll see a little buzz in there of Conrad Thompson, my partner. But whether it's a podcast or in-ring wrestling match, you have to connect emotionally, and it has to be authentic, or it doesn't resonate. And that's what WrestleQuest does. It really resonates with the audience.
And Book, on that note, it's got to feel good too to know that long after everyone stops wrestling, there's always the legacy that carries on in game. The ability to go back and recreate moments, to create your own storyline. So it's got to be impactful for you to see that, right?
Of course. I mean, you guys couldn't have hit the nail on the head better with someone like Savage. Savage, Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. Not just WrestleMania 3 in that match, but the leading up to that match. When Steamboat got the larynx crush. Yeah. To be able to create your own stories and relive that story. I think for me, that's what I get out of this more than anything is, there again, the storytelling, which I think is the base of professional wrestling.
I 100% agree with that. Like I was saying, as a fan growing up, and James, I'm happy you're taking the story element into a game like this. Look, I love grappling. I love creating my own interest, my own character. But I fell in love with everything. I remember, again, WrestleMania 7, seeing Macho Man do the elbow drop like 5 times. Warrior gets up, speaks to the heavens, wins. I'm thinking, oh my God, my heart's broken. And then he reunites with Sherry. Like, to me, I saw people in the audience crying. My mom was crying. I didn't even understand love.
Look at you, man.
I love wrestling, man. I didn't even understand love, and I was crying. I'm like, I'm emotional. I don't know why. So, James, how do you put that into a game like this? How do you capture all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, first I just want to jump in and say that 30% of our time working on WrestleQuest is crying, and the other 30% is just marking out, because it's like I can't. As I'm sitting on our group introduction to WrestleQuest, and we're so excited to premiere it, getting excited whenever I hear Booker and Jeff talking about the game we made. Like it's truly a dream come true for the studio, and it's just packed full of every little piece of what we love about wrestling. And the storytelling side, that's really what it's all about with RPGs. It's gripping the characters. There's over 10 playable characters for party building. There's a number of ancillary pickup characters that all have their own unique hooks and character agency that if you would want to replay WrestleQuest over and over again, you could still find unique ways to unwrap this universe. Literally hundreds of quests and side quests that help demonstrate all these different pieces that we've picked up working with some of these legendary folks the last 3 years. So I think the ground up, man, it's the podcasters, it's the stories that they tell, it's reimagining them through this toy and nostalgic lens. It's really just everything from the items and equipment and gear to the critical path storytelling that is just key to main gameplay.
I do have some bad news right now. I got the Sandman. Oh, I believe it. I do. And the problem is the Sandman's sweeping right now. I got the Oscar playing me off and telling me, shut up, Adrian, wrap it up. So I want to say right now, really quickly, each of you, where can we find you and find more information about you? We'll start with you, Booker, then Jeff, and then James.
Oh, man, find me on Twitter at BookerT5X. That's on Twitter and Instagram. BookerT5X. Now, can you dig that? Sucker!
Let go. Double J?
How do I follow that, Adrian? Shucky Duck. But mine's simple. At Real Jeff Jarrett. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. At Real Jeff Jarrett. My World drops every Tuesday at 6 a.m.
And James.
If you want to get into the ring and you want to get close with WrestleQuest, it's at Megacat Studios and at Skybound Games.
I appreciate it, gentlemen. This has been a dream come true to me. Thank you, James, for the wrestling experience. Booker T, thank you for everything that you do. And Double J, you can slam an acoustic guitar on my head whenever you want to, bro. So thank all of you for being here.
I got one specially for you, Adrian. I promise.
Good look at that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
This was an amazing experience, everyone. As you can tell, I'm geeked right now. I love professional wrestling, but I've got to shut up because this is not my show and it's not all about wrestling. It's about Idea Xbox Showcase, which is why Andrew Renee is going to connect with the lead game designer behind the upcoming title, Floppy Night. So before the devs join, though, we have a trailer. So let's take a look at that.
What's good, everybody, and welcome to the show, Christian. It's so good to have you from Rose City Games taking a look at Floppy Nights. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So as the lead designer for this game, it feels like there's a lot of pressure on you to get everything perfect. Are you sweating right now? Are you feeling confident about where you guys are at?
Oh yeah, I'm sweating bullets, but it's good. You know, we've been working on this game for a pretty long time. We started development on it in January 2019. We've been working on it. It's been a passion project ever since for us. So we're excited. We're excited for its upcoming release.
When we were doing our rehearsals yesterday, I had mentioned that, you know, you guys last showed this IRL at PAX 2020, which kind of feels like a lifetime ago. But with PAX East looming, it's kind of exciting to think that, you know, indie devs are going to once again get to connect with people. Has the feedback on your guys' previous games, like, you know, Garden Story and, of course, Into the World Next Door, really impacted the way that you guys have designed Floppy Nights?
Yes. So a lot of the way that we like to design games is to make them a little bit more accessible, right? We want this to maybe be your first introduction to these genres, especially because we like to mash up genres a lot. So Floppy Nights is a mashup of like a tactics game and a deck building game. And, you know, a lot of folks, when they think about tactics games, there's a lot of math and there's a lot of really crunchy rules and things like that, which I love. But we want to make it so that a lot of people can experience this and a lot of people can come into it without being, you know, scared of how complicated it's going to be. So we tried to gear it towards a little bit more friendly, more accessible, we're able to get into. We definitely did that with The World Next Door, and we did that a little bit with Garden Story as well.
I love how you use the word crunchy, because it does feel like sometimes when you get into the weeds with tactics games, it does feel a little bit unapproachable. And I think just the art style alone kind of opens the door for people to be like, hey, maybe this is something that I can play. Do you guys have different, like, kind of difficulty settings, or is there a way for maybe a noob like me to get in and not feel too overwhelmed?
No difficulty settings, but I've hand curated it so that a noob like you can get right into it. The game, you know, it has a lot of intricacies because we're dealing with tactical gameplay. You want to plan ahead, you want to do the right stuff with a random hand of cards. So a lot of it's going to be about making sure that you always feel like you can do something cool every turn. And we've spent hours and hours and hours making sure that that's possible. So I promise you'll be able to get into it just fine.
Oh, it looks like you've got a teammate in the chat that says, Christian, your haircut looks great.
Thank you. I got it just for this, sure.
I love it. I love it. So what kind of inspired you guys to go in this direction for this gameplay? Is it because obviously Rose City Games kind of has a really diverse set of games in you guys' portfolio. Was this something that the team had just always wanted to do?
Well, the creative director, Marlo Doby, she also worked on Dicey Dungeons, was pitching around with our studio founder, Will Lewis, right? And they were talking to each other and they said, what if we did Advance Wars with cards? And they passed that to me, and I was like, what if you did Advance Wars with cards? What does that even look like? So we took that concept and I buried myself in a conference room and I wrote on a whiteboard for a couple hours. And we made a paper prototype, which ended up being this thing. So it's a lot of, what if we took the games that we grew up on? She grew up on Advance Wars, I grew up on Final Fantasy Tactics, and made it, just a little bit different. Maybe we twisted it with a new genre. And we try to do that a lot with our games, right? World Next Door was, match 3 and puzzle solving with sort of a dating sim thing. So a lot of our games are, what if we took a cool thing that we used to play as kids and made it even cooler?
I think that that's so awesome. I love how the flexibility of working in the indie space really kind of gives, the smaller teams the ability to be nimble and experiment and kind of, see what works. Did you guys find that when you were, doing the, pre-production of this game after you did you papered it, that you found some things that you're like, hey, in theory, this feels like it could work well, but in practicality, it's kind of doo-doo?
Yes, that's just part of games, right? So a lot of the stuff that I try to do as a designer is make it so that games do things only games can do, right? When we started the game, there's a lot of hard rules, like units can only do this and can't make cards out of this. And as we kept playing the game and we were doing more play tests, folks were telling us hey, this part's really fun. Wouldn't it be cool if when you played a card, the card got better the more times you played it? And going back to our rules, oh no, we can't do that. That's not in the design doc. But playing it over and over, we're like, actually, that's a really great idea. Let's do that instead. Let's do things. Let's make a game that does game stuff. And we take the good ideas, we harvest them all into finding the fun, right? Which is the really lame way of saying that.
Oh, I don't think it's lame at all. I think that's why we all love video games, right? It's all about having a great time and, connecting with other people about it. So for this game, would you say that it's a game that people are going to have a kind of crafted experience with, or is there kind of some room to kind of have a little bit more of a custom experience as a player?
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of room for flexibility. So there's multiple deck types, right? Each of them have their own personality. We made it a big deal so that you can mix all the decks together. No two decks look the same, especially on the dev side. I like to do something very specific. My coworkers like to do things I wouldn't even think of. There's a lot of ways to play this game and a lot of ways to win every level, right? You just have to use your mind and see what you like to do with it.
Oh, I love it. I love to have a custom experience. That's awesome. And hearing people's different builds is always really fascinating, how people go in just completely different directions sometimes. But it's what's so great about our gaming community. Everyone is a unique flower. So for everybody watching that is excited to check out Floppy Nights, where can they follow you guys and learn more about the game?
You can check out us at Floppy Nights on Twitter. There's also at Rose City Games if you want to hear about the other games our studio is making. And we will be on Xbox Game Pass in Q2 of this year, so check out for that.
Awesome. Well, Christian, thanks so much for your time today, and good luck with the rest of your development.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, we are going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. More ID at Xbox Showcase is coming up, including another Game Pass reveal.
Welcome back to the ID at Xbox Showcase. I'm half Adrian, half caffeine, joined by the GOAT, Andrea, and our showcase is almost over, but we've still got a few more surprises left.
Oh, yes. Keep the caffeine going. I love the energy. I love the segment that you did on WrestleQuest. That was super fun. We've had a wonderful show here today, but we still have a little bit more, a few more surprises, as O'Kadrian said. And we are excited to reveal this one. Here are a few more games coming to Xbox Game Pass. Take a look.
What the hell?
A first-person murder mystery, Paradise Killer, is now live on Xbox Game Pass, and Jermaine Plays is playing live on their channel. So check it out on twitch.tv/Jermaine Plays. That's JERMAINE Plays. You can find them in the Control Plus app under Participants and follow them, or jump to their stream like we're doing right now, Andrea.
I love it. I also love that in the chat, Jelly Dot said that Paradise Killer has a crazy good original soundtrack, which is awesome because I love music in games, and I think that sometimes soundtracks are underappreciated in video games.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's a great way to sell a vinyl, by the way, is to have a great soundtrack and give people something to listen to. But I agree. A good soundtrack sets the tone and gives you a feeling of what it's like to play the game. We saw Jermaine right there cooking during a dialogue sequence, so I'm already stoked to play it.
You just want to watch people cook all day.
Yeah, I do. Cook all day, hang out, talk to people, solve murder mysteries, preferably in under like 5 minutes, unlike some people who couldn't do that earlier. I won't say any names, but it's still a little bitter.
You know, it's okay. Hopefully you'll be able to get over it with the fact that Paradise Killer is out now, live on Xbox Game Pass. So for everybody who has been dropping all of the love for Paradise Killer in chat, you can now play it on Xbox Game Pass starting right now. It's there.
What? Right now?
Yeah, like right now.
Like the fellow. Yeah,
Kind
right
of
now.
like this last announcement, not last. We still got more stuff, you guys. The Spring's Game Spotlight is currently happening, which you may have heard about. That's 5 weeks of new games, and it's running from March 8th through April 11th. If you guys want to learn more about the Spring Spotlight, you have to visit xbox.com/Spring Spotlight for all of the details.
Look at all these games, right? Oh my God, they're going so fast. I don't know which ones are there. That's a long time
You're
to
going to
find
have to go
out.
to the website.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. I think I saw MLB The Show on there, and I don't know what else was on there. I was kind of looking away.
It's a great time to kind of catch up on games that maybe you didn't get a chance to play, which I know is a reason why a lot of us love Game Pass, is this really convenient way to kind of checkbox some of the stuff that's been in our pile of shame, which admittedly for me has been growing to an embarrassing amount.
And you know what? You're not alone. People know this and they recognize the good games. As we can say right now, as a not pre-recorded message, we're live. A Slice of Kiwi said Game Pass is the best gaming deal in the industry. And honestly, I'm hard-pressed to disagree. You know what I mean? Like, it all looks very good. So it was a great show. It was a great day. We had a ton of indies. There was a ton of stuff for you to look at, too. And, of course, missed anything, you can always go back and watch the VOD as soon as this ends. You can have your own little show or even watch it back with your chat. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, chat, for conversing with us the entire time. Thank you to the entire production staff behind the scenes. You don't see the work that they do, but it looks fantastic. Andrea, thank you for being here with me. You're the GOAT.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love when I get to work with you, but I want to make sure you tell people where they can follow you and see what you've been up to.
Yeah, sure. My name is Adrian. You can find me anywhere as OK Adrian. I mean anywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, obviously. I'm a 2021 Twitch ambassador. I've been streaming for 8 years, partner for 7.5, and I'm playing everything right now, Triangle Strategy, but that's going on hold because Tunic is going to be in my hands very soon. So look for your boy.
Oh, yeah. I definitely have to download that stat. And I'm Andrea Renee. You can find me on Twitter at Andrea Renee, and you can follow my show, What's Good Games, at What's Good_Games, or right here on Twitch at What's Good Games. New podcast every Friday. I want to give a big thank you to all of the developers and our guests who joined us on the show today to share updates about their games and talk to us about what they've been making. If you are making a game or you have an idea for a game, you want to submit it to ID at Xbox, you can get all of the program details at xbox.com/ID for details. Maybe we'll be featuring your game on the next ID at Xbox showcase. Who could say? But thank you to everybody for joining us today and to all of our partners at ID at Xbox. And we hope that you guys have fun playing all these games.
We'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, everybody.
It was live.